Mr. Chatterjee, April 26, Senator Risch and I introduced the Update PURPA Act. The legislation makes several common sense reforms to bring the 40-year-old Public Utility Regulation Policy Act in line with what modern energy markets are doing and to protect consumers from what I believe are unnecessary costs. You know, back in '78, when that law was passed, things were different then. We now have open access to electric transmission. We have competitive wholesale energy markets. We have abundant renewable energy. So I believe that the regulations need to be updated to reflect these modern realities and ensure electric utility customers aren't footing the bill for power that they really don't need and don't want to pay for. So, you know, I'm encouraged by the Commission's announcement on May 17th that you're going to be reviewing the PURPA regulations. Would you please give us some additional detail on the scope and the timing of the review and any of the specific rules you believe need to be updated?
Thank you, Senator. And again, I commend you for introducing your legislation. I have said repeatedly, I think major changes to PURPA need to be statutory and come from this body. But that said, the time has since passed. We need to take a look at our own regulations and see what we can do. The chairman, in his introductory remarks, indicated that we already have a robust record to work from in this area due to the work of Commissioner LaFleur and others. To me, the 1 mile rule and the 20 megawatt rule are probably the two parts of our regulations that have gotten the most attention. But I don't think that we should just limit our focus to those. I support a broad review of all of our existing PURPA regulations to see what's working, what's not working, and what needs to be updated to account for our modern energy landscape. Commissioner Powelson has been aggressive in pushing for a fast timetable, and I think with the record that the chairman referenced, I'm hopeful that we can do that in short order.
Well, since you mentioned Commissioner Powelson, anything you'd like to add, Commissioner?
Well, Senator, I want to commend you and Senator Ridge for your leadership on this issue. Look, anything that protects electricity customers from having to pay for unnecessary costs is something we should all get behind, and that's why I join, not to prejudge outcomes here, but again, I want to applaud the leadership from our chairman on this. And also, as the former president of the National Association of Regulatory Commissioners, NARUC has presented testimony on this issue. And your legislation, in my view, I think it's long overdue. To your point, the energy landscape since 1978 has changed. And I can tell you, all of my colleagues, we've met with some of these new technology providers. I'll let them go nameless here. But PURPA is not recognizing new technologies like storage, like oxidized fuel cells, and it's going to be a problem going forward. So I'm for, as Commissioner Chatterjee mentioned, the 1 mile rule reform, if we can get our hands around that, the QF reform, and then lowering that 20 megawatt threshold would be something that I think would be good for markets. But to your point of protecting consumers, now more than ever in this low energy cost environment that we're in, we've got to get your legislation moving.
I appreciate the comments.